Hello, listeners and friends, aspiring authors. Welcome to LOL. And today we have Devika Das from Hyderabad, an accomplished theatre artist. You will be getting an introduction proper from Danya soon. LOL, what is LOL? Love of literature. We normally say, I have love uh, for literature. We all love literature, but does literature love us? Does literature love me? Does it love Devika? So we don't know. Over the period of time, over years, we get to create a rapport, and perhaps literature loves us back. Today we have Devika. Very honored to have her as the guest today. And over to Danya, please.
Where we welcome you, Devika. And for the readers, Ms. Devika is an award-winning author and actor. She pursues her passion for creative arts. Through her various pursuits, she proposes to spread the message, arts is a good choice. She has won several accolades for her non-fiction book, The Mind Game. Additionally, she has also won the National Award for her short film, Waterman, directed by Anshul Sinha. She has featured as a speaker in several literary events in India and has spoken about the importance of truth-telling at the TED Circles. You can know more about Devika's artwork from her website, authordevika.com, or through her Instagram page at authordevika. We welcome you, Devika. We're very happy to have you in this program, and
I hope you enjoy it as well as we would be. Let's begin our session with a simple fundamental question. What was your experience with your first book, first copy in hand? Can you share with us the experience, Devika?
So what happens, publishing a book was never my dream. Like, I had never thought of it. Like, I used to write from a very young age, but I started with poetry, but then on my friend's urge, she said you should publish your work, because we used to discuss about marriage and my contemporary views. They were impressed with that, and they said, why don't you publish your views? You write poems, you write articles for magazines, why don't you publish a book? I said, who goes and publishes? And anyway, publishing is a very expensive affair. How will I take care of it? And then I got to know about Amazon Kindle. I published my first ebook, that is Seven Vows of Marriage. The second edition of it is also out recently. And then my next book was The Mind Game. So when I got reviews of Seven Vows of Marriage, I realized that, okay, I have the power to impress the public, as they say, and and impress the public with my written work, and I don't have to speak anything. People will read my work and they will get impressed about my views. But and many of the female audience, basically, they said that you have voiced our opinions, what we think about marriage, but hesitated to talk about. We could not voice them out. You have voiced it out through your book. That was something I felt very overwhelmed. It was very overwhelming for me, and so I chose to continue publishing books. But I am not in the rat race. I must tell my audience that I am not in the rat race of publishing a book every year. I am not in that, because writing itself, it takes a toll on my mind, because I have to be focused on my manuscript for a long time, so that it needs effort. It needs
Yes.
effort, right? Writing doesn't come without an effort. Yeah.
True,
So,
true.
but the publishing, so that's how my publishing journey began. And now I have published so many books. Now I'm very happy now. Yeah.
Oh, great.
That's great. That's
So,
great.
can I don't know if I'm sure it is relevant though. Mind Game is about psychology. And Seven Vows of Marriage, which I didn't read yet. I'm a married woman. Devika writes about seven vows of marriage without a marriage yet in her life. I would like to read that book. I wanted to ask you, such books, something to do with psychology, especially Mind Game. What does it take for aspiring author to come to that stage of really writing an extensive psychology-based book? What it takes? How was it for you? Have you done psychology, or how that interest in psychology began in you?
So this is a very good question. Thank you, Jayanti, for asking it. Because for me, I am not. I don't have an official education in formal education in the subject of psychology. But like I have not done any courses in psychology. But I have read. I have been an avid reader of psychology and books related to human behavior from a very young age. So, like, I started reading about psychology and philosophy from the age of 15. So, and now I am 30 plus. So it is like 15, more than 15 years of reading. It has, and theater also helped me understand human behavior a lot. So all those facets, but as they say, a writer needs an impetus or that push, that slight push to write on something. That push came in 2018 where basically it was 2016 end of 2016 when I was in Delhi, and I used to read in the newspapers about how people are committing suicide. Basically, the rate of suicides is increasing in the age group of 15 to 29, which was very alarming for me, because I was like, in a country like India, which was considered to be a high ranker in happiness quotient in our parents' time,
Mhm.
why is it suddenly going into stress and depression? What is the reason behind it? So I did my own research. It was a 1.5 year research for me. I did concerted research. I spoke to counselors, to psychologists. I read Sigmund Freud like from top to bottom. I read a lot of other books which have been published in this genre, in the self-help genre. And one thing I realized was that you are your own master. You are the person who will allow external capacities to affect you emotionally. And I wanted to spread this message like a wildfire. That was my ambition. Like, people have to start talking about mental health, because nowadays we have we are not engaging in interpersonal conversations. Like, hardly we go for parties, or we go for get-togethers where we meet people and we talk to strangers. We are not doing that anymore. And I must say, the book has been a revelation for a lot of people, because many people said that they were experiencing those kind of issues, and they have come over their fears. So that was the concerted research was basically the concerted research was basically on human behavior, how people react and not respond, how the response to the stimuli has become, how we have grown very impulsive. And another research was that, why aren't we emotionally intelligent? Why are we so reactive?
Mm.
Why do we have to offer an opinion on each and every subject that is present? Why can't we be patient? The values of patience, tolerance, somewhere it is declining. That is what I can say. We instead of becoming progressive, we have become more regressive. That is what I feel.
Understood. Okay, my next question to you is, you had said that theater, working in theater has helped you learn about human nature. Right? So if you take theater, you're acting, it's basically fiction, right? It's one person or the playwright's idea of what the world is, or let's say his world that he has created, he's putting it into picture. So when you do that, it's more of an understanding of the playwright's mind than a general populace's mind, right? How do you think that has influenced your understanding of human nature in general?
So the theater has played a very large role in my personality development and my outlook towards society. The fact that I have become independent and empowered, and I feel empowered. Like Jayanti said, I'm still single, but I'm empowered. That feeling and that confidence has come through theater. Yeah, yes.
Got
that
it.
that comfort level has come through theater because I have met a lot of people. I have done over I have an experience of over 15 years in theater itself, and I have attended more than 400 workshops. And as they say, theater is a human process, is a human connection process. So in order to get under the skin of the character, you have to imagine yourself in that situation. And even though it is fiction, when I portrayed myself as the character, I wanted to be true to the character, what the writer or the playwright has portrayed. And in order to get under the skin of that character, I had to imagine my life as being the character. Like I have to live the character.
Mhm.
So
Got it.
like a writer lives a character, even a theater artist has to live a character. And I think I have lived so many lives. If you ask me which life I should, or which role is my favorite role, I can't give a right answer, because there is no right answer, as I each role has contributed to my personality. And now uh, I feel if theater was not there in my life, I don't know what I would have done. I don't think I would have been so self aware. It has
Mhm.
created, it has also helped me in gaining self awareness.
Mhm.
And I have become more self aware.
Mhm.
Now, nowadays, I don't react immediately. I have become calm. I have become calm, patient. I don't react to people's comments. It is like, okay, you have said something, it's okay. It is on me, it depends on me whether I should take it or leave it. So I have become very independent. But
Mhm.
sometimes this sometimes this independence is harmful for me also, because I have lost a lot of people as who were earlier friends.
Understood.
You will get
My
more
my
new
next,
friends, don't worry.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
So let's
yeah.
come to mind game. Oh, sorry, Danya, please.
Yeah. My next question was that, like, see, as writers, as Jayanti and me, we only write fiction. Jayanti ma'am and me, we just write fiction. And for us, it takes like, once the book is done, right? There's a lot of emotions that we go through each character, like you said, for theater. There is like each person's head that we go into, and we live that character for a while, and it actually takes time to even switch from one character to the other. Like, once we get into the mind of one main character, our mind will work like that. Is it there for non-fiction? Do you think that applies for non-fiction also? And do you need time to get out of that process to your normal life?
Yeah. So there is a process in writing non-fiction as well, because non-fiction involves a lot of research. You have to do a lot of research. Like when I used to interview people, and I used to hear the stories of related to mental health, I used to sometimes think that, okay, I became more grateful for my life, because I don't have those problems. I don't have those problems. And I have become more humble after listening to those stories, because seriously, the kind of issues that people have, and which the emotional triggers, as they say, once you realize what are the emotional triggers, I think you gain control on yourself. You gain self control. Yeah, definitely it has changed. And I think we are very ignorant about what are our emotional triggers. We don't know ourselves that well. But there was a, like I said, I did secondary research as well on the internet, and I read a lot of case studies. I read Sigmund Freud. I read about trait theories, personality development theories. All those has made me a better, I won't call myself a subject matter expert, but I would say that I understand human psychology now and human behavior much better now. And I will not judge a person just because of
One action.
in one action. I will not judge a person anymore. It has made me very practical now.
How
So-
did you write Seven Vows of Marriage? The
So
research
Seven Vows-
part.
the research part was nothing. Research part was more of observation in the family, and friends. so so my characters, like I have a chapter. So I used to listen to stories about married life of my parents, grandparents, how they met. Because earlier it was the arranged marriage system, so called, what people call now arranged and love. I don't think there system exists like that. Love marriage is nothing but you find your own partner. Arrange is your parents find. The difference is just that, nothing else. You have to run your own marriage on your own terms and conditions. Nobody will help you out. so so it is like they say, शादी का लड्डू जो खाए वो भी पचता है, जो ना खाए वो भी पचता है. So it is the it is like. But for me, I used to hear a lot of stories, and I have seen both good marriages and bad marriages in my family. And I have also seen a lot of my cousins are single. I am also single. So we have a different perspective towards marriage. Like, is marriage absolutely necessary, or can we stay single throughout our life? So all these observations were recorded in the form of short stories. And I also did two interviews, but I have not mentioned the names. I have used them as characters. But those are real stories, real interviews of couples who have been married for 5 years and above. Because mainly there is a term called 7 years itch. So people say after 7 years the problems start. So something like that, it is something well accepted in the society. So I said, okay, I will choose 5 years. I will choose 5 years and see, because both the couples have crossed 7 years. So I said, okay, I will take your 5 years story and I'll write. So this is how 7 years. And I also included my experience with the whole matrimony thingy. Oh God, it is a hilarious. And I must say, Indian matchmaking system is a comedy. It is a comedy, man. I must say. But who invented this Indian matchmaking system? I don't know.
Okay. Let's come to Mind Game. It has an interesting story behind the publishing journey of that particular book. Can you please share with us how it began as a self-published and turned into a traditional published book? And I thought you also had that book on in London, isn't it?
Yes, it is available in London now.
Yes, I want that journey for the aspiring authors who will be listening to us.
Definitely. So first of all, finding a publisher for the Mind Game was very difficult. I contacted traditional publishers, like the big publishers like Rupa and all. Rupa, other publishers. I contacted about 12 to 13 publishers who they said they did not reply after 6 months. So I automatically knew that the script has been rejected. Then I started contacting publishers So this is contacting publishers who will take a lump sum investment in the beginning of printing the book, and they will print it and do the marketing after the and the marketing or owners of marketing will be on the publisher itself. Because I wanted the book to get out, and I did not want after seeing the experience with Seven Vows of Marriage, I did not want I wanted a wider reach. So I wanted it to be a paperback. And at that time, Kindle did not have a paperback version. So and I was in Delhi at that time. I started looking, I went to Daryaganj, I started looking online also. I came, I came across Blue Rose Publishers. I found their packages fairly reasonable, and I said, okay, this much of amount I can invest. So I spoke about my terms and conditions, royalty, everything, and they had the royalty calculator on their website itself. So I said, okay, if I put a certain MRP, what will be the royalty? I will get to know the figure, and what is my investment? I also saw it to it. Then Blue Rose published it in 2018. In the first year itself, the first lot got sold. First lot was around 300 or 350 books. It got sold in the first 6 to 8 months. So that was very good. That was a very good response. I started getting queries on Instagram from reviewers. Then after 1.5 years, I guess, yes, after 2 years after it became a national bestseller, in 2020, Blue Rose itself approached me with their traditional imprint, Heston Publishers, which is a sister concern of the same, which is a traditional imprint of Blue Rose. They said, we want to upgrade your book to this Heston. The second edition will be printed by Heston now. I said, fine, not a problem for me. But what is the difference? I understood the difference, that I don't have to invest any money, but in printing the book, but I had to obviously give a marketing package. I had to sign up for the marketing package. I said, okay, the marketing package, it is an annual cost which I have to bear. So I said, okay, and I will pay in installments over months, and I will bear the cost, because obviously I was doing marketing on my own, and if the publisher is ready to do the marketing, then why should I deny it? And then they said, along with traditional publishing, it will also get a boost if you participate in London Book Fair. I said, all right, I will participate in London Book Fair. So, but because of COVID, the London Book Fair could not go through. Otherwise, in 2020 I would have gone to London. It's all my fate.
Better days are ahead. Don't worry. You may go to Frankfurt Book Fair. Don't worry.
Yeah.
How did you? Our question is, so that to benefit the aspiring authors, how did you promote your book enough that it reached the level of traditional publishing from self-publishing? What were the tools that you used?
How did it become the bestseller in India? How?
So I started it with I started my Instagram page, Author Devika. In a period of say again 8 to 10 months, I got a decent following, about 2,000 followers, and main thing was Amazon reviews and Goodreads reviews. That kept on piling up. So like my advice for aspiring writers would some genuine reviewers also take payment for their services, but you should check their work before selecting the reviewers. You should not go in like many of them offer packages like in 2,000 rupees will give you 20 reviews. Those are just quick money making tips. Please do not fall into those traps. I would rather say that Go in for genuine reviews who will give you a critical feedback on the book, and who are good reviewers on Amazon. If you get even 10 reviews from those kind of reviewers, your book will stay on Amazon. Like even for me, the Mind Game, even after 2 years, 3 years, the book is still in circulation. It has not gone out of circulation. It is still intact, and people are still demanding it. So I think it has created a place for itself. The main thing was Instagram, Facebook, social media. Use social media wisely. Second second I participated in lot of literary festivals and connected with other authors and publishers and book bloggers. They in review, in lieu of a free review copy, they published a review, an honest review on their website. So these are some of the marketing tools that I use. And one thing is, uh, see, let the audience decide about whether the content is good or not. Do not give your own self-proclaimed messages that okay, buy this book because I think it is good. Let the message come from many authors. Many authors, many authors in India nowadays do it. Okay, buy this because they are self-proclaiming. Don't do that. Instead you say that okay, this is a review I have got from a certain reviewer, and always repost the reviews that you get.
Okay.
So
This would be the last question of this segment. The next segment would be World of W's, and the question is: see, with fiction there is no line. You can write whatever you want, and there is like we can because we're basically creating our own world. But where do you draw that line in non-fiction, especially in psychology? Because our views are still at the end of the day a single person's, though they have come through a lot of research, it is through our own understanding. It will have a a personal bias. As human beings we will have it. So where do you draw that line? Where do you limit yourself in non-fiction, especially psychological?
So I would say in any non-fiction book, any non-fiction book based on research, you should give your own perspective, but you should also read it, get a third person's view on it. Like what I got it read. Once the manuscript was completed, I got it read by 2 or 3 people who were not so close friends, but who were good critics. So they told me, they gave me a fair assessment of the book, whether it is like whether I have included personal bias or not, or whether I have given much reasoning, much rationale behind the book. Because that is and whether one thing I wanted to ensure in the book is that many a times when we write non-fiction, we give gyan, we become very preachy. Okay, I know so much, I have done so much of research, this is what you should do, this is what you should not do. I wanted to keep it very personalized. I wanted to personalize the whole book, but not make it preachy. That is what I ensured in the book, that I will not make it preachy, and I will not say I will not write stuff which is not which will sound very like okay, do this, do that. I wanted to cut that. That is why the book is running. Maybe I don't know.
Good.
Got
Good.
it. I think Zoom will cut now. We will have to reconnect again for the World of W's. There's very less time. 10-20 seconds.
Recording.
Devika, this is a segment called World of W's. World of W's is when all the W questions, like, where, when, what, how, why, all that. There are 6 of questions, and this is a rapid fire segment where you don't have to elaborate on every question, but you have to give the answer which it demands. Yeah, that's all.
Please
So
ask me questions.
Definitely. So our first question is, how did you go about with the Mind Game, and also let's say with the 7 Vows of Marriage? Was it just empirical research, or did you do behavioral research, like did you send questionnaires and all that to people?
It was empirical research and behavioral research both. because I conducted face-to-face interviews, as well as I also sent questionnaires over email. I conducted personal interviews also. Yeah.
Okay. So why did you stick to psychological non-fiction? Do you have any idea of going into another kind of genre of
Like,
non-fiction?
yeah.
Any other?
Do you have any fiction in mind?
Future idea?
Or do you have
Future
other
idea?
non-fiction in mind?
Yeah.
I have an idea about writing. How much is the title of the book? I have already thought. So how much I will focus on all the elements, or all. How much money do we want in our life? How much money do we want in our life? How much, like, what is the point of contentment for everything in our life, present in our life? So that is the concept that I am thinking about.
Again, psychology.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we understand you are going to restrict yourselves to psychological non-fiction. But
Yeah.
It's a notion. It's a notion. You can go on writing
Like,
until
like
we wish
psychology.
that you can use these psychological ideas for fiction at one point in your life.
I have done it. Like I have written a lot of short stories as well. I have gone into the character's mindset and how the mindset has changed, or what are the intricacies of the mindset, of the notions. How has the person's mindset developed? I have focused on those even in short stories. Like I had written a short story for an anthology on a prostitute's life. So
Okay.
what about psychological thriller kind of a book? No. Crime thriller.
No. I like crime fiction. I like crime fiction. Agatha Christie and Sherlock Holmes were my first reads. And so I have read so much of criminal psychology, and I like to read the mindset of a culprit or a criminal. So maybe one day when I am in that mood or in that zone, once I finish all the non-fiction topics, then I may switch to fiction.
Okay, as you have already told us that you've touched both, we would like to know what is the difference between writing fiction and non-fiction, and what is the difference between publishing fiction and non-fiction? Has there been any, stark differences in your journey?
Publishing fiction, I was very wary of how the audience will react. So I have always published fiction on Amazon Kindle only. I have not published it through a publisher. I have not sought a publisher for it, because for me, I maximum word limit I can write is 15,000. I can't go beyond that. That looks like a serial or drama. I'm like, gee, I don't want to write. I'm like, I may as well watch a Netflix series or something on Amazon Prime rather than writing myself. I'm like, gee, I have boring drama. I will not write it. Because and for me, since I'm a theater artist, for me it becomes a sort of a play script rather than becoming a fiction novel. So for me, I would cut it into short plays and enact it out and see. And sometimes I have also done, like, when I used to write short stories for anthologies, I have tried to portray and enact it out, and whatever dialogues used to come in my mind, I used to write them. So that is how it has happened. So I think fiction for me, it is suited to theater only. Let the theater be fiction.
Okay, I get it now. So when is your next book expected? What's the book, the work in progress?
So my recently published Hindi fiction novel Meghna is doing very well. Touch wood, it is doing very well, and it is well received by people. We have already sold 50 copies in 2 months. So that is the first fiction novella I published. I have published as paperback with Blue Rose. So it has given me a bit of confidence that I can write fiction as well. But next one, I am taking a break because, as I said, World Theatre Day is coming around, and I am engaged with theatre projects right now. So for me, the writing genie has taken a backseat right now.
Oh, okay. All the best.
Who are your target audience, like for fiction and non-fiction both? Just give us like two.
I'm a very,
True,
I'm a
true.
very, I'm a very bad person for deciding marketing pitches. I'm very bad. When people ask me, "Do you write for the audience?" I say no. I want my book to find its own audience. So I just want to tell a story. That's why I'm writing it. I never think it like a marketing professional. Like, okay, what is I am writing for a desired target audience, or I am writing for this particular genre, this particular set of people. I want my books to be read by all age groups, because I like recently for Meghna, I got a feedback that one of my friends' grandmother has read it and she liked the story. So
Very good.
I have never catered. I've never thought about that as a.
So it's
So,
pan human.
It's
So,
human. It's
where
human.
where can our listeners find your works, read your works, samples of your?
So, if you want to avail of my books like The Mind Game, Seven Vows of The Mind Game, and Meghna is available on Amazon. It is in paperback and Kindle, and The Mind Game is also on Kindle right now. It is on Google Books as well, and Seven Vows of Marriage is only Kindle version. So only people only Kindle users can get a hang of it. I am not planning to get a unnecessarily waste paper and get a paperback version. It is a small book.
Okay, Seven Vows of Marriage. I think, even though it's a small book, that the title, I don't know the content yet, but still, I think if you really print the book, it should sell better than your Mind Game. That's my guess.
I don't know. I really
People are
don't know,
so
because
confused about marriage, the concept of marriage. So maybe
I think that is a
Especially
never.
Indians.
it will sell
Especially
like
Indians.
hotcakes. So you please consider.
No,
So
no, no,
thanks
no.
for.
No, it will not sell like hotcakes, because people have criticized me like, how can you share such bold views about marriage?
Why
And
not?
I
No,
am like,
negative publicity is still publicity. You know, it will still sell.
Point.
For people to just take it and read it, they don't
Point.
need like good things.
Devika,
They bad things also
it
people
is.
will read.
It
no,
is
no,
a
no.
point.
Controversy
Because
is the bestseller.
that I know, that is the sad part of it. I don't want. I don't.
Anyways, thanks for being with us, Devika. It was great talking to you. And I think you will come to our session maybe after a few months when you're maybe your next book or some milestone. You will come again. And I hope you enjoyed the session. And thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for like the session. It was a wonderful session. So now, I would just say that it is a wonderful initiative that you all both have taken, because obviously the publishing industry has become a very major industry now in India. A lot of people are, thanks to Amazon Kindle, a lot of people are publishing, but what they should publish, they are not aware about that. So this series will help. This series of talks will help them get a direction to it. So thank you for doing it.
Yes,
Thank
it's
you. Thank
for
you
the
so much.
same cause. The whatever you just said, it's a common cause for the generations to come, for the next generation probably, and that's why we are investing the time, and effort. Thanks for understanding. Thank you, Devika.